My name is Samurai Farai. I'm 25 years old. I'm a Cape Townian, South African-based artist, and I'm not just a visual practitioner, but I'm also a curator and gallery owner. I created Samurai Farai as like an artistic pseudonym that I could put everything in my imagination into. So being a samurai for me is associated with being super disciplined and being super mindful, and I feel like that's what I try to express through my art and through my creativity. It's like sensitivity, mindfulness, discipline, things like that. The inspiration of my art is very much to express the inner goings and workings of human beings, and it's our psyches. A lot of my content is based on showing different sides and different angles of one individual's consciousness or identity. I guess how I do that is by using cubism and neo-expressionism, but a lot of my work is just to comment on, how there's so much going on beneath the surface with us as people, and the sides that we show each other aren't necessarily the only things that exist. Yeah. What stimulates my creativity is definitely people watching. I'm a very visually sensitive person, so I spend a lot of time going through visual books, spending time on the internet, spending time on Pinterest, and following other artists a lot of the time. I get inspired by a lot of what I see around me in the world. I can be sitting at lunch or going for a walk and experience something that will spark an idea. So I feel like I'm always drawing energy and inspiration from the environments around me, in a way. Most of the artwork I create, in my opinion, comments on the psychological inner workings of us as humans, our mental states, our mental health, and I think a lot of my work is trying to normalize that conversation and showing people really unique work that they haven't seen, and kind of instigating a conversation, where we kind of just all agree that sometimes we have facades that we don't show each other, and that's perfectly normal, and it's okay. So I feel like a lot of people resonate with my work and they don't maybe understand why, but I think the intention behind it is what makes it attractive, in my opinion. I think layers come in the form of physical layers like clothes, emotional layers like lies and manipulation. You layer yourself, and you layer that inner child that you don't want to get hurt with all these walls, and as a result you never let them down. So by not ever letting your walls down, by never being vulnerable, you never actually allow yourself to meet yourself. So even in my work, it's intense layers. Sometimes I'll do a painting and then just paint completely black over it. And no one will know except for me sometimes, which is also an interesting concept with the art. But I really feel as people just have so many walls that we build up. And as soon as we start taking those walls down, I think that's when we'll really start to change and heal as people. I feel that one can face themselves and peel their layers through self-introspection. I think self-investigation, and also being around people that want to normalize vulnerability. I think if you continue to spend time with insensitive people, ignorant people, you'll become a byproduct of that. So I think trying to be a lot more vulnerable with yourself and with the world is a great way to peel back, becoming and asking yourself, what wall exists today in whatever situation, really peeling back is challenging yourself, asking yourself the hard questions, doing the internal work, which no one else will do for you, Truly. You have to take it upon yourself and take responsibility. and I think I've had this conversation so many times past 2 weeks, is like, people don't want responsibility over themselves, you know, they really just want someone to make decisions for them, and that doesn't work, you know, like you can't grow up in your parents' shadow when they make all the decisions for you, and it's a lot easier for some people to never take responsibility. But for me, I had to, because I feel like if I didn't, I might not be here, you know, because of the way I struggled with my own mental issues. But I feel like I'm doing well at the moment with it. I talk about it when I'm not feeling good. I have support structures in the forms of like other people who are very mindful and sensitive to me. I'm a very like physically active person. I love to like work out and cycle and run and hike and go to the beach. I believe that like mental agility is also like physical strength, and if you can train your body, you can train your mind, and do a lot of meditating. I love to read, but also like love to have conversations with people who are in a similar boat than me, because as soon as I do that, I just keep reminding myself that I'm normal. Like there's nothing wrong with me. Just because I can be happy this day and a complete mess like a few hours later, that's perfectly fine, you know? And I actively try to do things just that like express self-love for myself, you know. I don't think that South Africans talk about mental health enough. I don't think they talk about it at all. But I think that through, you know, even like a collaboration like this, we start to normalize the conversation. We start to bring the conversation to people. And like I was saying earlier, I truly only want South Africans to speak about mental health, because if we don't, there's only going to be more of a backlash, you know. So I just want to use my creativity as a way to instigate a conversation in the country. This collaboration is incredibly important to me because it represents creativity coming together to spread positive messages. You know, it represents to me two creatives or a body of people who actually see the value of creativity in making positive impact. You know, lots of times people want to leverage visual art for other agendas, you know, maybe because it's cool or it's trendy or it's fashionable or it's in demand, but it's very rare that, you know, you get access as a creative in this relationship to just use your art to like generate charitable funds that we can literally give and use with this NGO to actually make change. That doesn't happen. Half the time, people just want art for music videos. People want art for clothes. People don't really want to use art yet in order to really comment and change how we exist with one another. So I think this is really important because no one else is doing it. We're doing it first, and once we do it, we're gonna show other people that this is capable, and like, you should be doing it too. Use your art, use your creativity. And I'm all about collaborations as well. I love working with new people and being in new spaces and environments, and like it also really inspires my work, you know, to always work with, to be multidisciplinary and, you know, not just live in like my little world, but be brave enough to like go out and work with other people who do completely different things to me. The quote I'd like to share goes along the lines of every successful society is built on the foundation of its artists. Us as cultural practitioners give the rest of the world a foundation of existence and understanding, but we just don't know how important we are, you know. But I really see artists as being like really like the glue and the substance that keeps us going, that literally brings color and vibration and line and form and just like enjoyment into our lives, you know. I think during Corona, if you weren't listening to new music, reading books, trying new things, you know, you were probably going crazy, you know. So I think a lot of people also used art in these crazy times to, you know, stay calm, to get through the days, to like just process what's going on, you know. Hi guys, this is Samurai Farai and you're watching ASA.